you pressure wash a sidewalk, for instance, it'll stay clean down here in the Florida market for about 3 months. If you spray it with Citra Shield, you'll get a minimum of 9 months, but if you spray it a couple times a year, it'll stay clean indefinitely.
Talking clean in a dirty world. Talking clean in a dirty world. Dirty, 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 dirty world. Talking clean in a dirty world.
Where you at, Joe?
I was in Naples at bidding this new construction project. I was in Orlando all weekend working with Brian Sellers, and I just been working like 24 hours, 24/7. It's crazy.
Great. That's great.
Well, if you're just joining us, folks, as you can see, we're talking with somebody that's out on the street doing doing the daily work, as they say, on a Monday morning. So, Joe, tell us a little bit about who you are and what's going on out there. I think you said Naples?
Yeah, I'm Joe Macomber from Citra Shield Cleaning Systems. We're based out of Naples, Florida. We cover basically the United States, a little bit of South America, the Caribbean, with our Citra Shield cleaning product. It's a spray and walk away product that it addresses algae, mildew, basically any kind of biological growth, and eliminates pressure cleaning. That's the Cliff Notes.
It seems like it's hard to get people to let go of the pressure washer, though.
It is, and you know what? It's never going to go away, but as I try to explain to municipalities and other folks, that why not do it one last time? And a perfect example is we do a 35-mile piece of sidewalk, and we pressure wash less than 1 mile of those 35s. We only pressure wash like under shady lady trees or in the entrance to maybe a shopping center or something like that. But the rest of the sidewalk stays clean year in and year out. So it eliminates, I tell it, 80 to 90% of all pressure washing. But
so, Joe, how long has the product been on the market?
Since 2008.
Yeah, well proven then. Well proven.
So the whole question that we have here as a panel is, if you pressure wash it, how long does the concrete stay clean versus if I use the Citra Shield?
If you pressure wash a sidewalk, for instance, it'll stay clean down here in the Florida market for about 3 months. If you spray it with Citra Shield, you'll get a minimum of 9 months, but if you spray it a couple times a year, it'll stay clean indefinitely.
And so we never have to pressure wash again?
You'll never have to pressure wash again, except for what I stated earlier, sap stains or shady lady trees or coffee stains, that kind of thing. But it'll be very limited.
Okay, Javier is our cleaning contractor right here that's with us over in Tampa. Does this sound good, Javier?
Oh, it sure does. I'm actually very, very happy to hear about it. I had heard a little bit. I wasn't too familiar, Joe, with your Citra Shield product. I heard a little bit about it, but anything that will definitely stop the pressure washing. We don't do that much pressure washing business, but we do some in the past, especially, and it's always been something so rigorous that it's not one of my preferred things. But this obviously seems like a better alternative, no doubt.
Hey, Joe, how did you get into this?
How did I get into it?
Yeah.
We had a big operation of pressure cleaning, window cleaning, exterior building maintenance, that type of thing. And we actually had a guy fall off a roof pressure cleaning and almost died. And I said to myself, there's got to be a better way. So through research and trial and error, I was able to come up with a formulation that was not only green, but actually worked. It took me about 7 years of trial and error to plug and play eco-friendly products into a non-eco-friendly world. Once that was developed, we started producing the Citra Shield on a as-needed basis, as being we were the only company who was able to apply it. I wouldn't let my baby go, so to speak. And then we decided about 10, 12 years ago that we start selling it to municipalities, universities, things of that nature, because they had their own staff. And we started the training, et cetera, and that's what brought us to where we are today.
Yeah, I met Joe and his counterparts on LinkedIn maybe 3-4 months ago, and we just brought the product on at Gem. But it's been one of the more exciting product launches for us. Customers are always amazed and to hear about it. And like you say, it's almost like it's a brand new product to the market because maybe you were holding it back. You know what I mean? Like you weren't letting your baby go, so not as many people heard about it. And now they start to find out about it. It's eye-opening. We're excited to have it part of the arsenal.
Well, I'm excited to have you, and we're always available for ride-alongs. That the most important piece of this is education, education, education. You know, I try and explain. Listen, that algae or that biological growth didn't get there overnight. It's not going to go away overnight if you choose a natural way to get rid of it. So just give us time, and we'll deliver you a clean building. That and the other thing I like to say is, your money's not worth my reputation. I am not going to put something on your building that's not going to work. I don't need the money that bad. I'd rather give you a clean building. So, you know, integrity's everything, especially in the cleaning business. So,
Hey, Joe, is there any part of that building that we can't put it on?
I'm sorry?
Is there any part of the building that we cannot put it on?
Nope, you can put it on anything. That's the double-edged sword for us in the cleaning industry, right? Everybody's got something for A, B, or C, but we have A to Z. Citra Shield will work on any substrate. So you don't have to get a roof cleaner, you don't have to get a wall cleaner, a vinyl cleaner, an awning cleaner, a sidewalk cleaner. This does it all.
You know, you can't pressure wash some of these awnings because of the way that they are and the underneath side of them. So, you know, I'm thinking about all the awnings in Florida that I see that, you know, they got a logo on there, but you can't see it.
Yeah. Our guy in Atlanta, all he does is awning cleaning with Citra Shield, and it's a small company, and they do $1 million a year in awning cleaning.
Javier, there's your next service, man.
Speaking of that, do you train contractors as if they want to get involved with Citra Shield?
Absolutely. We're like a big family. We want everybody to succeed, and the smarter ones actually are doing very, very well because of the training and the support. And we have sales guys they're calling on institutions and government facilities and universities, and then we share that work burden with authorized Citra Shield applicators, so we can get these jobs done quickly, efficiently, without having 300 or 400 employees. I'd rather have 5 companies come to one job. And the example is the Lake Nona VA. I bring 4 contractors in to do that, so we get it done in less than around 7 days.
Hey, you said something about applicator. Is there a special applicator that has to be used?
There are suggested applications methods. You know, anywhere you can put it on with a pump sprayer, obviously, like for sales guys in the field. But if you're gonna get serious about it, you're gonna want to get an agricultural sprayer. We have suggested equipment. It's an ag sprayer with a 100-gallon tank, 7.5 gallon a minute pump, 300 feet of hose. It slides right into the back of a truck.
Yep.
And you can buy them for about $5,000, so it's not a huge investment. I mean, about the cost of a power washer.
Didn't I see a video of a drone spraying this stuff on a water tower?
Yes, you did. We're actually next month, in November 1st-ish, we're doing the Georgia Capitol Dome with drones. We're cleaning the entire Capitol building with drone technology, and that's the up and coming thing with us. We're embracing the drone technology for both Citra Shield application and window cleaning.
I was just thinking about window cleaning when you said that. I'm like, are you going to be putting window cleaners out of business on high rise then?
I don't know if you ever will. It's all about the American perception, right? So nose to glass is a perfect way of cleaning a window, but will the American public accept a drone cleaning, which would be like a touchless car wash? My thinking is you'll probably have to do a nose to glass cleaning once a year, maybe once every 2 years, and do the maintenance cleanings with the drones. But that's my prediction. And the other reason is you can't get any labor, so they're going to have to accept the drone, because our next labor force is going to be those basement dwellers right now playing video games.
There you go.
That's their dream job, to fly a drone for $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Well, and even without thinking about the drones there, Joe, you got to think about, the labor to spray an application like what you have instead of pressure washing has got to be much more efficient.
Yeah, the drone labor is about 5 times faster than the human being.
Well, but I was even talking about just using a sprayer instead of a pressure washer has got to be even more efficient.
Oh God, yes. Well, if we're just doing a roof in a neighborhood, we'll do 4 roofs to their 1. So we're 4 to 5 times faster than a power washing scenario.
Well, that's got to be extremely cost effective.
Hey, Joe, I'm looking at the building behind you, and if I was to spray that building behind you, how long until that goes away? Like right where it was right behind you on the...
That was a fence.
I was standing next to this fence.
Yeah.
So if I spray that fence down, how long till I should see that typically?
It really depends on the weather, but fences like this clean up pretty quick. I would say that because it's also vinyl, so the roots of the biologic don't have a great big hold. That'll probably clean up in 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
Depending on the weather.
And then it's once every 6 months, spray it down, keep it clean forever.
Yeah.
And it'll clean it up in 2 weeks without us doing anything at all other than the one-time application.
That's right. And that 2 weeks is there's a variable. It might be 2 days, it might be 3 weeks, might be 4 weeks. It all depends on, like this year in Florida, believe it or not, we haven't been getting any rain. So it's been a brutal summer. We did a 1/4 mile of the I-70 walls, and they just wouldn't clean up, and then finally about 2 weeks ago they finally were spotless. But we did the things back in May, but by lack of rain, it just wouldn't wash the decaying or dead algae off the wall. So that's something, again, when I said earlier, education. You got your customers got to know that, hey, I can't guarantee a timeline, but I can guarantee you this product has never failed.
So this does work because if I remember right from the directions, it has to be dry for 18 hours, and then we do need rain to work with this. So we're using nature to work with the product, correct?
That's correct. The 18-hour thing is just for the DIY guy. But, quite frankly, as soon as the product is dry on the substrate, pray for rain. I don't care if it's 5 minutes after it's dry.
So, but we don't need to go hose it down.
No, that doesn't expedite it. It's naturally decaying the root structure of that biologic. So it's time. So if you understand how algae and biologics grow, they grow in colonies. So when you see a really, really black, that is layers and layers and layers of biological growth, which means it's got layers and layers and layers of roots. And the Citra Shield decays those roots from the inside out. So the more the roots are, the longer it's going to take. And the rain just expedites everything.
Well, I was talking with somebody and they asked me, are you using photocatalytic in this?
No.
Okay. At least I can answer that question now.
Yeah.
And Joe, so if you have a sidewalk that has that really, really black, multiple layers of colonies, Should you do multiple applications, or is one application going to do it over time?
No, one application will do it. There's no need for multiple. It doesn't help.
Gotcha.
It just doesn't help. It's just you got to just be patient. And I'll give you my worst case scenario. Thought it failed. Very disappointed. We did the Disney monorail. Hasn't been cleaned in 39 years. I went up and sprayed it. I went back every week. I said, oh, you know what? Maybe it's tire dust from the monorail itself. It's not algae. It's not biologic. Anyway, time goes on. 6 months to the day, I went back and that cement monorail was completely bone white. But it took 6 months because there was so much growth on that concrete. So that was my true test of fate.
Don, you were about ready to open your mouth. I couldn't believe you've been quiet this long.
I've tried about 6 times, but let me ask you a question, Joe. On the product, it says for exterior surface only, correct?
Correct.
Is that because it needs outdoor ecological atmosphere, or why wouldn't it work in a mold situation in like a shower area?
Because I don't want to go through all the state registrations of becoming an indoor cleaner. But the straight face test is I use it in my showers. I use it all over inside. But I can't legally do it because I didn't go through the 50 state registration process.
So you can't make that claim is what you're saying?
Yeah, I can't. Right.
Okay. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I know you've got a lot to do. You're out there in the world making the place clean, and you're doing it safely. We appreciate your time. Folks, if you really want to find this product, as Bobby said, we're glad to have it here at Gym Supply. You can go to this page. You can find out all about it. And Joe or one of us will be out there helping you figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, any technical questions, send them my email address. I answer. I read them all. I get 1,500 emails a week, but I always take time to answer them. So, any questions or phone calls, I'm happy to take any of it.
Well, folks, if you're watching the video, there's his email address. If you're watching or listening to the podcast on the audio, we'll have it down in the show notes. Of course, you can go to gymsupply.net and you can get all of the information there as well.
Very good.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. And Bobby, I'm looking forward to riding with some of your sales guys to get this thing going up there.
You bet. You bet. Right. We'll get it set up.
That was our morning conversation with my sales team.
Good. Good deal.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Bye now.
We got a ton of videos, Dave, on our guys that have been out in the field, where they've done the befores, and some have done the before and afters right now. It's been the product's fairly impressive especially in even a short time on green algae. It really knocks that down pretty quick.
Well, I've got a couple here at the main office, and I was just looking when I drove up here this morning, one that I did last week, and the side of the building, all the green is gone in less than a week.
Yeah, if you could put those videos in the link, that would be great. If anybody's listening, they want to go check it out.
It sounds like obviously it sounds like a real good product. It's something that, definitely we would be, interested in. The only concern that I would bring up though, and obviously I didn't, want to say this, Joe, but the idea with some customers, I think, Bobby, Dave, that are uncomfortable with the waiting process.
Absolutely. We've had people bring that up, Javier. So I think you're on it. And I think you should have brought that up because I've heard his answer on it. He has a really good answer, but it essentially is, let's pressure wash it. And then let's treat it. Right. And then let's never pressure wash it again. Exactly. So
you're going to initially pressure wash it, then treat it, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. I got you. Okay. Then
we come back and we do that every 6 months, and we never have to pressure wash again.
Got it. Because that way would be a lot easier sell for people.
But here's my point, Javier, on that. If it's already black and green, then why didn't they pressure wash it before? Why do we have to do it all of a sudden right now anyway? How long did it take to get that way?
That's irrelevant. They let it go. They got it dirty. Now they need him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's-
we're Javier, where we're seeing it, like in the school systems, they have huge courtyards, all cement, right? And they have to pressure wash all summer. But just as Joe brought up, they only really need the pressure wash where their kids are eating food, where they've spilled Cokes, where there's gum, things like that. But they don't need to pressure wash all the thousands and thousands of square feet of that.
Right.
So if they treat that, that'll stay nice. And all they have to worry about is the actual cleaning of concrete in certain areas. Just a tremendous labor saver.
Oh yeah, in the water too. I mean, my God, the water.
Here's a perfect thing. I was riding my bike on Saturday along the bike trail, and I'm looking at all of the plastic fencing from all of the people's fences back up to it, and it's all green. Now, I said something. Somebody said, "Well, yeah, it's supposed to be a greenway." It's a cop out. Somebody, can't get a pressure washer and pressure wash that off. I mean, they're just too much hose and getting power and getting something to it.
So they were trying to pass off a white vinyl fence as being green because of the mold on it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know it came in that color shade.
Yeah, don't tell my wife that idea.
And that's the natural look, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a reason not to do something when it comes to maintenance, gentlemen. I mean, that's the way it is.
Most of the time, it's money. It's almost always money. They don't want to spend the money on it, so they let it go. And then they end up spending 3 times as much when they finally have to do something with it. If you let that green mold run on that vinyl fence, eventually it'll be green because the green mold will stain it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good question for Joe, because I wonder that I don't know if maybe you can kill it. Maybe we think of the stain, but it's still just the colony. Because I've seen some of their pictures where they've taken, like statues that you would think there's no way that's not stained, and cleaned it. Like if we just tried to pressure wash it, it might still be stained.
Well, understand that
so deep inside there. So like
it is a good question.
Yeah.
Well, and that vinyl it's more non-porous than concrete, so it shouldn't have stained.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing is, somebody asked me about the photocatalytic, and I'm like, well, you have to use it outside in sunlight and rain. But when he said no, that goes back to the biological, and everybody believes that you have to have Clorox or bleach to get the mold, and he's saying no, you don't.
Yeah, you don't. In fact,
he's attacking it from the molecular structure. He's going after. That's why I asked for the indoor thing, because I've had a ton of customers ask me if this stuff works indoors, and I can't tell them yes. But now I can go back and have a conversation with them and say, try it.
Well, it's actually a good thing, because I've run into some customers before in the past when we've done some little bit of pressure washing. We don't do that much of it, like I said, very very light in the past. But one of the first things they've said is, "Are you going to use bleach?" Because they don't want the employees smelling it, or that smell when you get up to the building when you're going to come in or walk in or whatever. So it's a heck of a good alternative, because a lot of people don't want bleach; they just want to stay away from it.
Well, how many times do you go to a fast food place in the building, there are people out there pressure washing, spending all of this time, money, and effort when you could do this? So I'm not, hey, Javier, I'm not trying to get you into the pressure washing business. Quite the opposite. I'm like, don't go into it, but actually have the same results or better.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good, but like I said, Dave, I'm glad that Jem has got it now. So I'll probably, I'm almost sure I'll pick up some, from an experimental aspect. I'm very curious on it. I want to try it and see if it works, because we do a limited amount of pressure washing, but usually the pressure washing that we do is for existing clients. So if whatever customer that we currently have that they ask, well, I need this pressure wash, whatever, we'll do them as a favor, because they're already an existing customer, but we don't really target pressure washing work in itself. That's kind of a whole different animal that I've never really been interested in or wanted to do.
Bobby, how do we stock it? Is it all ready to use or what?
No, we stock it in concentrate and in ready to use. So basically the ready to use is brought in just for over the counter, but there's some We have 5-gallon pails of concentrate. You can buy drums, 55-gallon drums. You can buy 270-gallon tote. You can buy all different.
Do you remember what the dilution rate is offhand?
6 to 1. So 5 or 6 to 1.
Well, there you have it. So you can find that there at gemsupply.net. Hey, there's somebody that's going to be willing to come out there and help you figure out how to use it and get the results that Joe and everybody has been talking about. Thanks for listening to our broadcast today. We appreciate that. Please subscribe and follow us at Gem Supply. You'll find that information. We'll even have some videos down in the show notes for you and some links. Thanks for watching.